Solve the following quadratic inequality by using a number line. Alright, so for this one, what we first need to do is find the roots of this system, okay? So we need to do a little bit of rearranging first. First thing I'm going to do is let's rewrite this, but with an equal sign. So then we can start performing algebra on it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to FOIL out this square, and I'm also going to move this 13 over to the other side by subtracting both sides by 13. So if we FOIL this out, we'll get x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 13 equals 0. Then we just have to multiply it all by 2. And finally, we can simplify this right here, 8 minus 13. Okay. So now what we can do is we go ahead and solve this for the roots of the system. However, we can't solve this in a traditional way. We'll have to use the quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation is as follows. We have negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay? So let's go ahead and start filling things in. So this is our a, this is our b, and this is our c. So a negative b is already negative, it's negative 8, so that's going to become positive. So we're going to have 8 plus or minus, and then b squared is going to be negative 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 5, all over 2 times 2. All right, so now we can go ahead and simplify this down. So we're going to have 8 plus or minus, and then we have negative 8 squared, which is positive 64, minus 4ac, which is 4 times 2 times negative 5. And so that's going to actually end up being positive 40. And then we have just 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so we continue on here. 64 plus 40 will give us 104. And finally, that's going to give us 4 plus or minus root 26 over 2, because what we did is we took a 4, basically pulled a 4 out of here, and then the square root of 4 becomes 2, and the 2 and the 4 can simplify, and we're left with this right here. Okay, so we're not going to simplify this any further. We'll just leave it at this point here. And so on a number line, we're basically just going to have 4 plus or minus root 26 over 2. And in fact, I'll just have like that. And 4 minus root 26 over 2. Okay? Now, if we were to picture the parabola that this right here represents, what we're trying to find is where 2x minus 2 squared minus 13 is greater than or equal to 0. So we want to find the portion of this parabola that's above 0. And if we think of this as an x-axis, then we can basically determine that the parabola is going to be some shape like this, and we want to find the portion that's above the x-axis, right? So what do? Well, we just write on this number line, because it's going to be the portion that's above, it's going to basically be from this point onwards and from this point onwards. And because we're using a greater than or equals to sign, we're going to want to use a solid circle. Okay. And that will be our number line that represents the inequality, right? So that's all for this one. I hope that helps. Thank you.